Hi, in this video we're going to be thinking about building vocabulary for the IELTS speaking test in particular. Now, of course, vocabulary is an important part of your speaking, and it's something that the examiner is going to be listening to when you're speaking in the IELTS test. It's really important that you do spend a significant amount of time well before the test building your vocabulary so you can show it off a bit when you're in the test, but not consciously think about it when you're sitting opposite the examiner. That would not be a good thing to do because it's going to affect other parts of your speaking in the test. So the idea is, well before you take the test, you should be spending time thinking about building up your kind of range of vocabulary and your understanding of how words are used by native speakers of English, and kind of try to use these words in the same way. So what we're going to do in this video is show you two really specific ways to improve your vocabulary that are really targeted on kind of what the examiner is looking for when you're speaking. Now, of course, really building vocabulary takes a very long time and involves listening to and reading lots and lots of things in English and actively trying to make notes on the new words you see and think about making notes of phrases and the ways of using those words, and then try to use them yourself and make it part of your kind of everyday vocabulary that is natural to use. So then when you go into the speaking test, you can use those words naturally and smoothly and show the examiner, the range of vocabulary you really have. But also there are some very kind of more specific ways of building up vocabulary for the IELTS speaking test, and we're going to look at these two really specific ways today. Now, there are two resources that are extremely useful in building vocabulary, and these two resources are a thesaurus and a collocation dictionary. Now, hopefully you've heard of these two things before, but it's possible you haven't. I've met plenty of language learners who aren't really aware of what a thesaurus is, and they're not really aware of what a collocation dictionary is. But these are two things that can really help you to build your vocabulary. Now, a thesaurus is going to really help you build your range of vocabulary, or the range of words that you have in your head. And a collocation dictionary is going to help to build your awareness of style and collocation, so the way words are used with other words. And these are really two things that the examiner is really focusing on when they're listening to the vocabulary you're using, that you're using a wide range of words and that you're showing a good awareness of style and collocation. So these are two great resources to take advantage of to build up your vocabulary kind of in a, like I said, a targeted way that's really focusing on what the examiner wants to see. So, of course, the thesaurus is going to be showing you synonyms or other words with similar meanings when you search for a word in a thesaurus. So you're going to be able to build up lots and lots of words with similar meanings that you can use when you're speaking in the test to avoid any kind of repetition. Whereas a collocation dictionary is going to show you how words are actually used in a sentence. So if it's a noun, maybe what verbs or adjectives connect with that noun, or even how we use them in phrases or whole sentences as well, which will help you to understand how you really use the word when you're speaking. so many people ignore this when they're building up vocabulary and maybe learn long lists of vocabulary, and they don't really have much awareness of style and collocation with that word. So these are two great resources, and online you'll find plenty of free thesauruses or free collocation dictionaries that you can use. I'll actually leave a couple of links in the video description below so you can click on them and kind of experiment using a thesaurus and a collocation dictionary. But I would like to give you some examples of how we can use these two resources, and really targeted on certain things in the IELTS speaking test. So if we take a part 2 cue card to give us a bit of help to think about what words we can look for in these two resources. So if you look here, we've got a task card or a cue card asking us to describe an interesting TV program we watched about a scientific topic. So if you're kind of preparing or trying to build vocabulary for this type of task, what you would do is maybe choose a couple of words from the task card and put them into these kind of two resources. So imagine we take the word interesting, the adjective to describe the TV program, and we put it into a thesaurus, and we look to see what synonyms we have for the word interesting. Because of course we want to kind of show the examiner we know lots of different adjectives to describe this type of program, and we don't want to repeat the word interesting too much. So if I look in a thesaurus and I find other words, there are many words that will come up in a thesaurus, but I thought some useful ones to kind of see here would be the word fascinating, absorbing, gripping, and captivating. So there already we've got 4 synonyms of the word interesting that would probably fit into the topic of a TV program or interesting TV program. Now, of course, you've got to be careful with this because synonyms are never exactly the same meaning, but they will be very similar, and with a bit of research into that word and the meaning of it and the context of it, you should be able to kind of fully understand how to use those synonyms. But in this case, these 4 synonyms that we have here are very useful in the context that we're looking at. Now, of course, like I said, context is very important, and thinking about using a collocation dictionary as well to give you an awareness of that style and collocation for vocabulary is important too. But I thought we'd choose a different word from the cue card to kind of focus on here so we can see some of the ways that that word is used. And I thought we could use the word program here. Of course, it's asking us to describe a TV program. So if we put the word program into a collocation dictionary, you can see that it shows us how we use this word in English. And what it will do is give us a kind of a combination of different words to be used with this single word. Now, here program is a noun, so it shows us verbs that we can use with the noun program. Now here you can see we've got some quite simple ones like watch, see, make, also host and present. Of course, all of these verbs fit with the word program. You can watch a program, you can see a program. I mean, a production company will make a program. And of course, there might be a person hosting a program or presenting the program. So all of these kind of verbs connect with the noun program. Also, we can look at some other verbs as well that they give us here that are slightly different, but a program can be broadcast, screened, or shown. And we've got those verbs there. Of course, you notice there I used it in the passive voice here, which it is often used in this way. So yes, you can also though broadcast a program, screen a program, or show a program. I guess this would be what the TV channel is doing. So straight away we're getting a better idea of how this word is used in context. how the verb fits together with this noun and what verbs we can use. The collocation dictionary will also give you other words that fit together with this word too, and we can see here how we can make some collocations between nouns and adjectives too to describe a program. We've got a TV program, a documentary program, and an educational program. All these words are fitting into the context of the cue card that we've got here as well. And of course, this is just showing you a small amount of things from these two resources, a thesaurus and a collocation dictionary. But this is a useful way to be kind of focusing the way you're building up your vocabulary. Really focusing on building your range of vocabulary in specific areas. Using a cue card like this from practice tests would be a useful way to do this. But of course, you can choose any word you want and look for synonyms to build up your vocabulary using a thesaurus. And then, of course, the collocation dictionary, giving you an awareness of how we use these words in English. And of course, you can use words that are in these cue cards, or you can choose any words you want to kind of investigate and find out more about and give you that awareness of how the word is used. So hopefully these two resources are going to be useful to you in your building of vocabulary in the future. If you have found this video useful, then do remember to click the like button. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any similar videos in the future. But thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.